Alright, real quick, just to let you know that I am Diamond in 1v1 and 2v2, so you know you're not getting your advice from someone in Bronze League. Okay, so we're going to be looking at cannon rushing. Now this video will show you how to deal with the cannon rush, as well as how to execute the cannon rush. Now I'll be covering this from Protoss, Terran to Zerg. If you want to perform the cannon rush, you're going to want to send your probe out at around 8. Now also look at where this pylon was placed. The pylon was placed really close to the mineral line. This is done so because you're going to be needing a lot of minerals to sustain the cost of all the cannons. Many times you will see players build the pylon at the very bottom of the ramp, and they'll actually build and work their way up towards your base. On a Protoss vs Protoss, you will not need to do this, because if you build the pylon where they can see it, they're forced to take probes off of the mineral line and actually engage and take out the pylon. Now it's key for the person that's on the defensive side to take out the probe as well as take out the pylon. Now you don't need to send all your workers. About 7 will be able to surround the pylon and take it out fairly quick. Now right before the pylon goes out, the person that was on the offensive side doing the cannon rush sets down a gateway. What this will do is distract the opponent in order for you to run around and build the pylon somewhere else. Now it's very important that you build more than one pylon, because if the pylon is taken out, your cannons will be useless. Now if you're defending yourself from the cannon rush, at this point you're going to want to decide if you want to get a gateway and stop his rush, or just get the forge and stop the cannons from pushing your base. Now the blue player decided to go with the zealot and try to destroy the power. Now this isn't really useful because there's already a pylon that's powering the other cannons on the side. Now the blue player decided to go with the zealot and is going to try to kill the pylon, but this is kind of useless because there's another pylon that's already powering the cannon. Now what the blue player could have done is actually sent that zealot to attack the other player and pressure him to build cannons around his own base in order to buy some time, to build a forge and get some cannons of his own. Now the player performing the cannon rush right now is making a mistake. He's building a gateway in his opponent's base as well as building one inside his own. Now instead he should be pushing forward with the cannons. Now the blue player, which is defending himself from the cannons, is doing a very good job. By building cannons, he just cut his opponent the opportunity to push forward with any new cannon. Eventually both players decide to get stalkers as they can't push forwards because of the cannon. Now even though the red player has more health on all of his stalkers at the beginning, what blue is doing is he's focus firing down, which means he's getting all of his units and targeting one unit at a time. And that focus fire right there just won him the game. Now we're going to be looking at the cannon rush from a Terran versus Protoss. Now, what this Protoss player did was he built a gateway near his choke, so when his opponent scouted him, he didn't think he was going to be doing a cannon rush. Now what the Protoss player already has in the Terran's base is a probe, so he's still going to be able to do that cannon rush. Now it's very important to always be scouting, as the Terran player didn't scout that little probe in the base, which is going to cost him the game. Now as you can see, the Protoss is starting to build the cannons, and the Terran player can actually see it, and I'll turn off the vision so you can actually see it. So the Terran player just needs to have more of awareness. It's always important to be always constantly looking around. Here's where the Terran player makes the mistake. Instead of taking out the probe, he decides to attack the cannon. If he kills that probe, all he's going to take from a loss is a refinery and some SCVs. So the Terran player actually loses this game, so we're going to move on now with Protoss versus Zerg. Now normally you wouldn't think of doing a cannon rush versus Zerg, because not only can they scout it, but that creep makes it almost impossible to push up. Now the Protoss player actually walled it off, so essentially no Zerglings can get through, so he won't have to deal with any harass, and he can actually expand quite early. Now when you cannon rush versus Zerg, you're not essentially trying to kill them off early in the game. What you're going to be trying to do is stop them from early expanding. However, the Zerg player is actually quite smart and eventually uses creep tumors as well as spine crawlers to take out the cannons without actually taking any damage. The Protoss player actually takes the win in this game, so I hope this helps you out with cannon rushing and dealing with it, as well as how to do it. Thanks for watching.
Alright, thanks for checking out HD Gaming 101. Be sure to hit that subscribe button because we're going to give away lots of gaming gear, in-game premium items, and beta keys. But I want to know, what do you guys think about this game? Let me know. Till next time, game on.